Good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live this Premier League weekend as Matchday 11 concludes with a London derby as Chelsea take on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. This weekend there saw some huge results and some huge swingings in each way for the top and bottom of the table. We'll talk about all of this weekend's results and what effect it has had on the Premier League table later on. But first, it is a huge derby before our last international break of 2024. A Chelsea team that headed to Old Trafford last week and came out with a point, maybe second best last week, but an Arsenal side who really aren't in a good run of form after back-to-back defeats in the league last week at Newcastle and then away in the Champions League in midweek. They are desperate for a set of 3 points to get them back on track this season. To the teams this afternoon here at Stamford Bridge, and the big team news is that Cole Palmer is fit to start for Chelsea. He made just one change from the side that drew 1-1 at Man United last weekend. Marco Correa is named at left back, with Reece James dropping to the bench. Sanchez starts in goal. Gusto, Fofana, Colwell and Cucurella the defenders. Caicedo is the captain alongside Romeo Lavia in that defensive midfield too. Cole Palmer starts in the 10, Noni Madueke off the right, Neto off the left and Jackson through the middle in an unchanged attack. For Arsenal, Mikel Arteta has made 2 changes to the Arsenal side that lost 1-0 at Inter Milan on Wednesday. He has 2 huge players back in the team and ready to start, with captain Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice both named in the starting 11. Mikel Merino and Leandro Trossard drop to the bench. David Raya starts in goal. White, Saliba, Gabriel and Timber are the back 4. Partey, Rice and Odegaard are the midfield 3, with Odegaard the captain. Martinelli off the left, Saka off the right and Kai Havertz starts against his old club, which he scored 2 goals against back in April in a 5-0 victory for Arsenal at the Emirates. As is the case across the Premier League this weekend, it is Remembrance Sunday, and we take a minute to remember those who took their lives to save ours. A poignant moment at Stamford Bridge, as has been well respected across the weekend in the Premier League. Our last international break before the new year is on the horizon now, and with just 1 game to go, we will fully assess what the Premier League looks like at the end of this game. But this is going to be the big one of the weekend, really. Talking about where these 2 teams are. A derby usually equates both teams. It levels the playing field. Well, these 2 don't need the playing field levelled, because they're both on 18 points after 10 games. And we'll see which one can pop themselves into the top 3 heading into this international break. A win would do that for either of these 2 teams this afternoon. And we'll see what impact those big kind of team news stories for both teams have on each side this afternoon, with Cole Palmer starting for Chelsea, one of their talismanic figures at this club over the last season or so, and of course Martin Odegaard, the talismanic figure at Arsenal, has carried them to 2 title charges against Manchester City over the last few seasons. It's gone a bit by the wayside so far for Arsenal this season, but with Odegaard back on the field, they're hoping to get back on track this campaign. Our referee this afternoon is Michael Oliver, and our VAR is Paul Tierney, as we get underway at Stamford Bridge for another huge London derby between these 2, in which this game always excites and always gives us something to talk about, especially some dramatic moments throughout the years. Chelsea will be hoping to get their first win against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge for the first time in over 6 years. 2018 was the last time that Chelsea won here against Arsenal in this competition. We'll see if they can put that little spell and that little drought at home against the Gunners to an end this afternoon. It's a long clearance from Sanchez there. Raya has to head it clear, and a bit of head tennis around the pitch so far as Caicedo brings the ball down for Chelsea. Has to be said, last week certainly wasn't one of Chelsea's best performances at Old Trafford, but that wonderful strike by Moises Caicedo duly earned them a point against a Manchester United side that needed a penalty to score their goal. Of course, they've come off with a 3-0 victory, their biggest home win of the season at Man United earlier on at Old Trafford. Here's Caicedo, goes down under the pressure from Gabriel Martinelli, and Caicedo wants the crowd to get up early on here. Wants that impact. You'd have to say Chelsea felt when they went to Anfield a few weeks ago, suffered their first away defeat of the season in the northwest. And that atmosphere certainly contributed. Here's Ben White, breaks into space, looking for Havertz on the right, but well covered over by Colwill. And he will try and knock it out, but knocks it straight back into Arsenal's path. But Neto gets in the way. And now Palmer spreads it out wide for Madueke. Charging down the right-hand side. Noni Madueke plays it into Gusto. Gusto at the byline. Gusto with a cutback. A bit bobbly. And Thomas Partey can clear away comfortably for Arsenal. But again, that threat and the pace from the wide areas. Madueke and Gusto linked up really well last week at Old Trafford. Have done over the last number of weeks, getting into those little tight spaces as Palmer hits one. And a good save from David Raya. Sends it over the bar, but fabulous effort by Cole Palmer. Lavia just rolls it towards him. He takes on his man, and Odegaard, he really doesn't challenge him at all, and he just unleashes one with the left foot, does Cole Palmer. He's capable of hitting them. And David Raya stretches a right hand towards it and parries it over the bar for a Chelsea corner. It looked like it was just dipping below the crossbar as it came towards the Arsenal keeper. A positive start for the home side. First corner of the game, of which Palmer will go over to take on this left-hand side. Left-footed delivery. Cleared away at the front post by Havertz. Now Martinelli tries to spring a counter for Arsenal. Saka trying to return the ball to the Brazilian, but well defended by Malo Gusto, who gets it back to Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. Really been an intense, high-tempo start here at the Bridge. 3.5 minutes gone. I said they always continue to excite. 2-2 draw here last season in the Premier League. It's Lavia's ball. Took a bit of a deflection, which helped out Arsenal as White gives it back to Raya, who goes long. Havertz with a flick on, but couldn't find a teammate as Fofana retrieves for Chelsea. Well, it has certainly not been plain sailing for Arsenal recently. Certainly not been a comfortable time. Losing to Inter in midweek in the Champions League. Losing to Newcastle away last weekend. That tough stadium up at St James's Park. Only one win in their last four games in all competitions, and that was in the Carabao Cup against Preston. And it's only no wins in the last 4 Premier League games. The only point that they've picked up in their last 12 available. Or sorry, in their last 3, apologies. They're only at 1 point in the last 9 points available, and that came against Liverpool in the home draw. Of course, the Bournemouth and Newcastle defeats, both coming away from home. Here's Palmer. Breaking into space, gets past Partey. Now to Gusto. Malo Gusto will shoot, but well charged down by Timber and Gabriel there, that both got in the way. Goes out for a Chelsea throw as they take quickly through Noni Madueke. Caicedo. Now Lavia. Cucurella. Down the left comes Neto. And up across. The first time there, Pedro Neto decides to keep it. Plays it infield to Cucurella. Now Lavia. Chelsea looking to move it and keep the ball moving. Fofana. Now Caicedo. Trying to chip it out to the right flank for Madueke, but just a bit too much on that one. For Moises Caicedo, with a throw-in goes Arsenal's way. Well, it's certainly been an impressive start for Enzo Maresca. He's won 10 of his 17 games as the Chelsea head coach. 18 points from their first 10 league games. That's 5 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats. Chelsea's only 2 defeats this Premier League season. It came, of course, away at Liverpool and very early in the campaign on the first weekend of the season when they lost here to Manchester City. Other than that, they've claimed at least a point from their other 8 Premier League games. Colwell. Now Cucurella, who of course comes into the side for Reece James, who drops to the bench this afternoon, which some would say was quite a curious decision from Enzo Maresca, in the sense that Reece James was thrown into the deep end. His first game back in the Chelsea starting 11 was at Anfield a few weeks ago, and then of course a couple of big games since then, that game at Old Trafford. So some really tough fixtures that was thrown in Reece James's kind of return, but another one comes the way, and this time Enzo Maresca has decided that Marc Cucurella is the one he wants. So Arsenal press it well. Odegaard round the corner from Havertz. Now Gabriel's broke down the left, up against Fofana. Tries to deliver it, but blocked by Fofana, out for the Arsenal corner. Now not Gabriel Martinelli, it was Gabriel the defender, the centre-back there, that broke out of that left flank. Got to the byline and gets Arsenal their first corner of the game. The most set-piece goals in the last 2 Premier League seasons have come from Arsenal, 27, the most of any Premier League team. Only Everton are anywhere near close at 23, so certainly prolific from set-pieces are the Gunners. And their prolific set-piece deliverer and taker is Declan Rice, and he's over to take this corner on the left-hand side. Piling the bodies at the back post again are Arsenal as Rice readies to take this one. Swung in with the right boots and cleared off the near post, but I think the referee, I think they'll retake this actually. Yeah, the referee's just stopped the game and allowed them to retake it here for whatever reason. Something happened in the box. Now he's going to call over Havertz to have a chat, whatever that was about. Maybe a bit of a tussle in there that referee Michael Oliver didn't like. And that means that Arsenal will get another chance to deliver, because the first delivery from Rice was cleared away at the front post, so certainly wasn't a threat. Maybe a second chance for them. Referee's in deep conversation with Kai Havertz and Romeo Lavia here, as they both come away with just a talking to. And now Rice will take this corner again. Rice swings it in with the right foot again. Front post flicked on. And it's bounced up in the air. Chelsea just get it clear with Cucurella. Still not away as Rice picks it up again. Delivers again. Gabriel with a header cleared away. Now the shot from distance from White is blocked. Good pressure from Arsenal. Rice picks it up in the box again. Battling with Madueke, who gets in the way and takes it away from Declan Rice. And gets Chelsea free. Caicedo. Now Palmer. Can't find a way forward as Cole Palmer just keeps Chelsea in possession in their own half. It's an intense moment for Chelsea to deal with there. A couple of back-to-back threatening opportunities for the visitors, of which Chelsea did duly deal with. Colwell. Looking to switch the ball. Beautifully switched out to Madueke. Couldn't take it in a stride, but keeps the ball. Noni Madueke eyeing up for the shot. Deflected. Will bounce for a corner. To say it's been lively. Inside the bridge. Both sides giving it a good go early on. Palmer will get another chance to deliver here from the left-hand side. From the corner. Palmer with a delivery. It's a deep one, but straight into the hands of the Arsenal keeper, who rose up high and now wants to send Arsenal on the break, but goes all the way through to his opposing keeper. Although, I think the referee's going to pull this back for a foul. You just see this again. Raya gathers the ball, and as he throws it away, or as he boots it clear, it kind of kicks through Levi Colwell. And Colwell gives away that cheap free kick. Gabriel. Nice work from Rice to break it through the middle with Partey. And now he sends the run down the left-hand side for Timber, who battled with Fofana. Fofana wanted a foul, but the referee saw no issue. And Urian Timber wins Arsenal a throw-in on the left-hand side, which he will take. Goes for the long throw into the box. A bit inaccurate that time, as Havertz trying to make a nuisance of himself. But ultimately the last touch came off Kai Havertz, and it goes behind for a Chelsea goal kick. He fought for the corner, did Kai Havertz, but to be fair, actually, I think he's correct there. We see the replay. It certainly comes off Wesley Fofana last. Maybe he was right there, Kai Havertz, that he should have had a corner. The goal kick was given. And the officials didn't believe him. Here's Jackson. First real call of his name today, and he had nowhere to go. As Arsenal closed that one down well. Saliba. Now Rice. Will be interesting to see the difference in Arsenal. You know, we've talked about how they've been a bit more raggedy, not as kind of composed or clean or swift or smooth as they usually are in attack, certainly. As Saka plays it for the overlapping White. White chips it into the box. Away it goes by Gusto. Be interesting to see what difference Odegaard makes. A huge impact on this Arsenal team as they give the ball away there, but well worked by Gabriel to win it back, and will win the free kick off Nicholas Jackson, which Arsenal take quickly. Partey, Havertz, now out to Saka on the right, up against Cucurella. Bukayo Saka bricks it into the box, couldn't find a way through. Good block by Cucurella, out for the Arsenal throw. But Martin Odegaard has such a huge impact on this Arsenal team, and how important he is to not only the numbers, the goals and the assists, but the way that Arsenal get forward, and their shape and their kind of attacking formation and the positions that each player takes up. Something you really can't account for with a player of such importance in a team. Of course, that whole captaincy aspect, having a character of a captain like Martin Odegaard, is pretty much priceless to a team, especially when they're looking for a Premier League title. It has evaded Arsenal in the last 2 seasons. Here's Partey. Has a bit of space. Gives it across to Rice. Down the left-hand side comes Martinelli. Now Rice continued his run. On the left-hand flank. Turned away by Fofana. Fofana tried to steal it back, but Rice keeps the ball. Strides to look for options. Gives it back to Timber. Rice. Looking for the long switch. Out to Saka. Well intercepted by Cucurella, but Martin Odegaard tries to win it back. Fails to win it back, but Arsenal will get the throw in. Neto failed to keep it in play. Certainly good intensity and pressure from Arsenal so far. Can certainly see that intensity in their press. Saliba. To Thomas Partey. Gabriel. Down the left-hand side to Gabriel Martinelli. Up against Gusto. Has to turn back. Keep the Arsenal possession. It's also all about Arsenal just keeping their composure and their kind of security in this game. Not giving too much to Chelsea early on. You could say vice versa for the Chelsea kind of approach. Just about feeling each other out, figuring out the system, figuring out the situation in a way to bypass it. Sometimes that can take a bit more time than usual. Here's Odegaard. Linking up with Saka, but has to turn back. Does Martin Odegaard. Odegaard looking to try and go for the long diagonal. Couldn't find it through to Martinelli. Tries to battle back. It's clattered there. Does the Arsenal captain, and he's going to get a free kick here from, followed by Moises Caicedo. You could see it all day long. He was absolutely blasted into there by the opposing captain, by the way, of Moises Caicedo, who has the armband for Chelsea. I mean, it's really, yeah. I mean, I can understand why Caicedo's going for it, but at the same time, it is certainly a foul, no question. Just a bit clumsy from Moises Caicedo, to be honest. He gives away the free kick, which Cole Palmer is disputing, but I think if Cole Palmer watches it back, I think there will be no real argument for Chelsea there. Now, Mikel Arteta hasn't lost as a manager at Stamford Bridge. In all 5 games, he has failed to experience. For that challenge. You just see it again. Saka turns on the ball and tries to stride away, and Colwill was not letting him past without some sort of contact. And he does take his international teammate out and gets a yellow card, does Levi Colwill. First of the game. And the first of his season. For the Chelsea defender. Rice is the one standing over this one, but unhappy about something. I think it's the distance of the Chelsea player. I think there's anything wrong with that. As Rice ready to deliver, right-footed, deep, punched away by Sanchez. Not convincing that. That was nice turn by Jackson. Well closed out by Saka. Now Havertz to Odegaard, but the flag was up in the end against Kai Havertz. There might be a check for a possible penalty as well here. We're just hearing. See this again. Well, it's cleared. Checked and cleared, but for a moment there, VAR were having a look at something. Yeah, but as I said, Sanchez punched that ball away. It seems a bit strange just to punch it into the air. It's certainly catchable. That's a lovely ball. Fizz towards Gusto, but again, Arsenal cleared away through Gabriel, but only as far as Caicedo. And now they want to break down the right-hand side with Madueke. Madueke forward to Gusto. Try to flick it back. Madueke still not away as Arsenal do get it clear. Certainly a feisty game. Here comes out to Neto. Neto on this left-hand side, looking for options in the box. He's looking to find one. And it gives it a cross in the header over the bar from Malo Gusto. Great opportunity. He dug it out, did Pedro Neto, when it looked like it wasn't going to be coming. And somehow, sneaking in at the back post was Malo Gusto. Let's see who it was. It was Martinelli that was defending him, and it's really poor defending from the Arsenal winger. Certainly asking the question of the poor defending at the back post, and what a great opportunity that would have been for Chelsea. And I think Malo Gusto has actually come off the worse in that situation, because he is down receiving treatment at the moment, which is certainly not good, not a good sign. So Reece James is warming up, which we'll see if that would be a necessary change if that was to be made. They were expectant, those Chelsea fans, it seems. The game has just had a bit of a lull. 25 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Certainly both sides looking for the first goal. We'll see which one can get the first goal of this game. Here's Martinelli up against Caicedo. Martinelli with a delivery. Well cleared away by Fofana. One back by Partey. Right. Ødegaard to Saka. Back to White. Saka with a cross. Away by Caicedo. Now back to Timber, who will deliver again, but this time to no one. And will go behind for a goal kick. We do just want to say apologies for the slight disruption and breaking up of the stream. Trying to resolve the issue. It is strange, an issue, but we do thank you for staying with us and watching the stream. The issues should be resolved fairly shortly. If you're still experiencing some of those, they should be fixed shortly, as Ødegaard wins it back from the kick. Saka will shoot, blocked, follow up from Martinelli. Good save. Again, you can just see Arsenal in those moments are really starting to intensify, and now here come Chelsea on the break. Madueke breaking into the box. Now the cut back. Here is Madueke. Well closed down. And Partey scrambling to get it clear, as does Saliba. As Madueke couldn't find the pass forward, as Chelsea keep possession though. Just one of these things that's... Timber's gone down, so another stoppage will be coming here. I think the Chelsea fans are a bit annoyed by the decision to stop the game there, and you can probably see why. Their team were in the ascendancy all of a sudden. I have to say, Really good opportunities for Arsenal. The Saka shot well charged down. It bounces back out to Martinelli, who hits it with his left, and it kind of just comes off the chest or left arm area of Robert Sanchez. It's a good save, but certainly not the most convincing again from the Chelsea goalkeeper. All that matters is that he kept the ball out of the nets. That's the important key component of that moment. So here's Madueke. Timber is fine. Wasn't requiring any treatment in the end. Here's Cucurella. Back to Colwell. Now to Fofana, under pressure, but bricks into the midfield. Bricks past that press. Does Fofana. Now out to Madueke on the right. Bodies in the middle. Madueke plays it back to Fofana. Fofana across, but just couldn't keep it in play. Really good run by Wesley Fofana. Under pressure from Gabriel Martinelli. Steps into midfield. Strides forward for Chelsea. And ends up contributing to the attacking move. It ultimately goes behind for the goal kick, but certainly switching it up at the moment. Martinelli. Back to Gabriel now. Partey. Partey swings it out to Ødegaard, who's in the right back position at the moment. Certainly been an interesting approach from Arsenal in the first half. 30 minutes gone. Still goalless. Certainly this game is not without opportunities so far for both teams. Both have had chances. No one taking their chances just yet in this one. Saliba trying to find one over the top. Does look for White, who just couldn't bring it under his control. But Colwell gets there first and clears it away. Only as far as the throw though. Saka trying to break through too. Keeps the ball. Does Saka under pressure. But Cucurella does enough and wins a free kick for Chelsea. And so far Chelsea have had more shots than Arsenal in the game. 6-5. So it's fairly even on that front. The possession is 50-50. Certainly a well fought battle between these two so far. As I said, Arsenal have won 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two at Stamford Bridge. The only time they didn't win was last time out at Stamford Bridge back in October of last year when they drew 2-2. On previous occasions they won 1-0 on 2 occasions, and that 4-2 victory back in April 2022. Oh! Kai Havertz, again against his old club, has given Arsenal the lead from the quick free kick. And Arsenal in behind. Chelsea aren't happy. I didn't see it coming, but Arsenal lead. Chelsea are incessant with the referee's decision to allow the quick free kick. We'll see it again. They just drift away. They look like they're getting themselves set up, and Rice just plays it first time. Takes, might be offside actually, Kai Havertz. Might have just drifted offside. We'll see. VAR having a look at it. Looking at it, just looks like he's leaning offside, does Kai Havertz. But this would be a great steal if they were to get this goal. It came from nowhere from the quick free kick. As I said, he scored two against Chelsea in this fixture last season at the Emirates in a 5-0 win for Arsenal. We're now waiting to see what Paul Tierney, the VAR, has to say about this, and whether he is just offside, and I think he is. And the decision will be no goal. So Kai Havertz won't find the net so far, and the goal will not stand, which gets a cheer and a roar from the home crowd. I think they were as stunned as the rest of us at that ball that found the back of the net from that quick free kick, but maybe they've given up the game there, Arsenal. They took the quick free kick, caught Chelsea out, caught us all out, but Kai Havertz was just leaning offside, and it comes to nothing in the end, really. A bit of a let-off for Chelsea. And Pedro Neto, in the process, has just got a booking for his reaction to going up to the referee and complaining about the quick free kick. And that is what sees him enter the referee's book this afternoon. Still 0-0, but that moment has maybe got the home crowd going. Certainly got them into full voice all of a sudden. Well, that would have been another game without a clean sheet for Chelsea. They'll hold on to it for now anyway. They are without a clean sheet in 6 games in all competitions in the Premier League, or against Arsenal, sorry, in all competitions. The last time that Arsenal failed to score against Chelsea was when Chelsea won 2-0 at the Emirates back in August 2021. 7 of the last 9 games for Chelsea. Both teams have scored in their fixtures. Only 2 games in the last 9 that they've kept a clean sheet. Chelsea have been in non-league competitions. And that was in the Conference League in midweek, and the 8-0 win over Noah, and the 5-0 win over Barrow back at the end of September. They haven't kept a Premier League clean sheet since a 3-0 win against West Ham on the 21st of September. That was on the back of 2 Premier League clean sheets away from home. One thing we do know about Chelsea this season is they're yet to keep a home clean sheet in the Premier League. So, despite Arsenal not finding the net on that occasion, chances are they are likely to find the net at some other point in this game. Despite that, though, they failed to score in either of their last 2 away league games of Arsenal, both ending defeats away at Bournemouth and away at Newcastle. Palmer. Cucurella. To Lavia. And a link up quickly are the Chelsea players, but just a bit loose from Malo Gusto there. Goes out for an Arsenal throw. It's a little bit of inconsistency from Chelsea so far, has just maybe kind of held them back from taking a foothold in this game. Rice. Back to Partey. Cross now to White. Back to Saliba. Arsenal want to keep the ball moving around Chelsea as Gabriel now into the middle for Partey. With a bit of space. Threads it through trying to find Havertz, but well closed off by Fofana. And now Chelsea want to find one in behind themselves, but Raya was quick to clear that one away. Neto did find the ball to Caicedo. Back to Fofana. Lavia. Now Caicedo in the middle. Gives it back to Colwell. Not seen much of Cole Palmer in terms of really running at the Chelsea or that Arsenal team so far at all in this game, but certainly not in the last 5-10 minutes. Just been a bit swung maybe slightly in Arsenal's favour in the last 5-10 minutes, the momentum of the game, and something that Chelsea are just trying to claw back now. Caicedo down the left flank. Cucurella's broke into space. There was a foul off the ball, but Cucurella beaten off the ball by Saka, but the referee is going to stop the game and pull it back for a foul on Neto. I said there was a foul off the ball. That's what the referee's given. And a free kick has been given to Chelsea, and Ben White has been given a yellow card. See it again. It's just a break down the left-hand side from Cucurella, and Ben White just steps across Pedro Neto. Maybe it's a bit soft, but free kick's been given by the referee, Michael Oliver. And a yellow card for Ben White, his second of the season. Palmer with a free kick, but goodness me, I don't know what that was all about. I don't even know what that technique was from Cole Palmer. He hit it straight forward, but nowhere near the goal, and certainly nowhere near any of his teammates. A really strange free kick that was from the England international. Cole Palmer, of course, as I've mentioned, has been a talismanic figure here at Chelsea. 7 Premier League goals this season. Up there with the top forwards in the league. He also has 5 Premier League assists. If we're to put it into context, only Mo Salah has more goal involvements than Cole Palmer in the league. As Jackson, back to Cole Palmer. Well closed down by White. And Saka trying to get Arsenal on the front foot, but well covered over by Cucurella, who wins it back. Good battle from Chelsea. Lavia. Caicedo. Into Palmer. Back to Cucurella. Let's go back to Colwell. Again, you can just see Chelsea looking a bit more rhythmical. It's looking a bit more in control of the game now. There's Sanchez there, under a bit of pressure from Havertz. Surrenders the possession far too easily. I'm sure for Enzo Maresca's liking anyway. Saliba. Timber. Back to Saliba. Cross now to Gabriel. Now Partey. Arsenal taking their time. Martinelli. Again, can't really get away forward. Has to come all the way back to his goalkeeper. It's one of the... I'll speak of that in a moment as the ball over the top there from Saliba. It's given straight back to Sanchez. That's one of the big criticisms that I have about Arsenal this season is really the kind of lack of cohesion in their attack and play. Really, before last season and the season prior, we saw them move the ball really quickly, really fluidly, really kind of succinctly. Whereas now it looks like sometimes when a team just kind of sits in shape, Arsenal look like they've lacking ideas, lacking kind of initiative in trying to kind of move the pitch a bit. And I think it's just a bit one-dimensional really at the moment. Martinelli coming all the way back into his own half to keep the ball. Just seems really slow from Arsenal as Partey swings it out to Saka. Well closed down by Cucurella, who seen him out there, but Arsenal will get the throw. That was, of course, a tussle in the Euros final back in the summer. Saka and Cucurella for Spain and England. Rice threads it through. Nice ball to Martinelli, who wanted a corner, but the flag's going to go up against Martinelli for offside. Malo Gusto ultimately getting involved in that. Just see this again. Yeah, initially. He's not offside from the first one. And he's not offside from that one. A bit close, that. It's quite tight. And I think he might have been just on, if I'm not mistaken there. They maybe got a bit too excited there, the officials. Maybe should have let the moment play out and maybe give Arsenal the corner, because I think that might have been the right decision. Anyway, free kick was given to Chelsea. And that long ball over the top, Jackson's got himself involved. And Nicholas Jackson looking for a chance and will get the free kick. Declan Rice is going to be penalised here. Jackson using his ability to hold up the ball and try and turn into space. It's a long ball by Sanchez over the top. Jackson gets in a tussle with Gabriel, who is in no man's land. Jackson gets past Timber, tries to come back across, and then kind of connects both Gabriel and Rice, getting involved in that tussle and giving away the free kick to Nicholas Jackson. And it's a decent opportunity here, around about the edge of the box, around about 21 yards out. So a couple of yards from the edge of the box. It's to the right hand side of the goal, so it certainly suits a left footer. Let's see, with they're on the verge of 45 minutes here at Stamford Bridge, what Chelsea could do from this set piece. It's Cole Palmer. It's the wall. Bounces back out though. Still alive. Here's Palmer. In a tight space again. Well closed down by Arsenal. It's Havertz getting involved, and he goes to ground. And we'll get the free kick. 3 added minutes then at the end of the first half. Certainly been a feisty and lively affair in this first 45. And now there's a yellow card come out here. I think some of the Chelsea players are not happy with the fact that Arsenal got a free kick there, and Noni Madueke is the one that got the booking for one of those protesting to the free kick. Again, just pointless protesting, and they get a yellow card, does Noni Madueke. Rice getting into the space down the left, taken off him by Caicedo, who wants to spring it away for Jackson. Against Saliba. Spins back on himself, does Jackson, waits for the support. Now spins into an area. Jackson goes down again. Gets another free kick again. And this time it's the Arsenal captain, Odegaard, that's involved. Got very, very scrappy in these last few minutes of this game. Jackson gets into an area and just gets a shoulder barge, or kind of an elbow shove in the back there by Martin Odegaard, and it is a foul. We'll now get another chance for a free kick from the edge of the box. Maybe a few yards further out. Still in a decent location. I have to say, it's got very kind of tetchy and emotionally driven. Certainly something that plays more into the Chelsea hands than Arsenal, to be honest. So last minute of the 3 added. Can Cole Palmer create something here to see a change in the scoreline before half-time? Whistle is gone. Cole Palmer hits the wall again. That Arsenal wall is certainly doing its job. Palmer. Back to Colwell. 30 seconds or so to go in the half. Colwell feeds it out to Neto, who takes an awful first touch. Gives away to Partey. Now Saka. Can Arsenal do something before the half? White. Now Saliba across to Gabriel. They're not in a hurry. Our Arsenals, they go back to Raya. White flays it on to Saka. Couldn't find a way through past Cucurella. He's done well in this first half against Saka. And now here comes Palmer with a bit of a break for Chelsea. Neto down the left-hand side. He's got Jackson in the middle. A bit further ahead. Neto across Palmer. Couldn't really make a clean connection as it rolled back to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. And that is that. First half done and dusted. And certainly to say it's been a scrappy, scrapey and really feisty and tetchy first half would be an understatement. It has certainly been a derby of sorts, but certainly the quality in front of goal hasn't been there. Well, they've been battling and debating about each and every decision, and that has certainly summed up the first half. Half time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Welcome back to Premier League Live here at half-time at Stamford Bridge. It is Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. As I said, a very emotionally charged first half, very tetchy and kind of really scrappy first 45 minutes at the Bridge. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. We're on the road to 25,000 and it's great to have you with us here this afternoon. Right, so the first half at Stamford Bridge certainly hasn't delivered goals, but this Premier League weekend has been very entertaining. Let's have a look at what has happened throughout this weekend. There was a 5-goal thriller at the GTEC Community Stadium yesterday. There's been certainly a number of big scoring games between Brentford and any team really at the GTEC. Brentford have the best home record, the most points from any home games of any Premier League team this season. From their 6 home games, they have 5 wins and just a single draw. They are unbeaten at home and have 16 points out of a possible 18 at the GTEC this season. They actually found themselves behind. A mistake by Sepp van den Berg gave Evan Nielsen a gift of a goal to give Bournemouth the lead. Johan Vissa then levelled minutes later to make it 1-1 at half-time. Justin Kluivert got Bournemouth back in front at the start of the second half before 2 quick goals from Brentford through Mikkel Damsgaard, and Johan Vissa with his second made sure Brentford came away with all 3 points. It's been a good start to the season for Brentford, but it's 5 wins out of 11 and a total of 16 points, as I said, in this season. All of their points, as I said, have come from home this season. It certainly shows Fortress, the GTEC Community Stadium, in a sense, not picked up a single point on the road. Bournemouth, on the other hand, well, it's not particularly good reading for them. Just 1 win in their 6 away league games this season. That is their 3rd defeat on the road this campaign. And they sit in 12th on 15 points. But pretty much mid-table at the moment. Well, Crystal Palace have been in decent form recently, considering their start to the season. They headed into yesterday's game, as did Fulham, with unbeaten in their last two. But Fulham on a high after that incredible Monday night action in that comeback win against Brentford at Craven Cottage. An incredible double brace by Harry Wilson in the late stages secured the 3 points for Fulham on Monday night. But yesterday, it was again to be Harry Wilson involved, but Emile Smith-Rowe opened the scoring for Fulham in the first half. He almost had a second, did Smith-Rowe, of course, but the goal disallowed by VAR. A red card went Daichi Kamada's way, a straight red card for a foul with around 15 minutes to go when Palace were chasing the game. And Harry Wilson, it's now 3 in his last 2 games for Wilson, and he wrapped up the points for Fulham yesterday. He has the best goal-scoring ratio this season, scoring on an average every 26 minutes. Of course, very skewed, but the point is, he scored, and that's what matters for Fulham. 2-0 winners there. For Crystal Palace, well, as I said, they're sitting in the bottom 3 once again. 7 points from their first 11 games as it stands at this moment in time. Fulham, well, they've been pushing up the table consistently. They're now back-to-back wins. 5 wins out of their first 11, 3 defeats, 3 draws. 18 points from their first 11 games. They are only a point off the top 4, sitting in 7th, Fulham, with a cluster of other teams. There were to be no goals in the goalless draw in East London yesterday, as West Ham and Everton played out a goalless draw in that one. Certainly two sides struggling at the moment. Everton with just 10 points from their first 11 games. West Ham in 14th on 12 points themselves. Certainly not a convincing start to the season from either side, but a 0-0 draw was probably expected considering they don't score many goals at these two. And that was to be the case. First win of the season for Gary O'Neill's Wolves. At the 11th time of asking, they got their first win against the side who have only got one win this season, and that is Southampton, who got their first win last time out. But it wasn't to be back-to-back wins for the Saints. It was to be defeat at Molineux. Pablo Sarabia gave Wolves a lead inside 2 minutes yesterday. Ryan Manning thought he'd got one back for Southampton, but VAR ruled it out. Cancelled that goal. Mateus Cunha then doubled Wolves' lead into the second half, which really gave them a bit of headroom and ultimately wrapped up the game. But Southampton pushed and probed for any sort of chance in the second half, but nothing was to come. They had over 70% of the ball throughout the game, but a 2-0 defeat for the Saints on the road sees them continue at the bottom of the table. Wolves sit just above them in second bottom on 6 points. To the Amex, where it was a historic night, really, on the south coast, as Brighton beat Manchester City. 4 defeats in a row for City. The first time in Pep Guardiola's managerial career that has lost 4 games. 2 back-to-back defeats in the Premier League, and a defeat in the Champions League and in the Carabao Cup has seen them in this position. It is the first time since 2008 when Manchester City lost 4 games on the bounce in any competition. Erling Haaland, though, did give them the lead early in the first half, but it was to be the change at half-time for Carlos Baleba that would spin the game on its head. João Pedro came off the bench and equalised before Matt O'Reilly, on his Premier League debut, gave Brighton the winner. What a moment it was to be at the Amex. Brighton toppling Manchester City, as have 3 other teams have done in the last few days. It's not great territory for City, who sit in second, 5 points behind league leaders Liverpool, but certainly not in a great run of form at the moment heading into the international break. Quite contrastingly, at Anfield, where it's to be a good night again for Liverpool, the atmosphere was raucous at Anfield as after that result, back-to-back. The Brighton result just finished before Liverpool kicked off against Aston Villa, 2 of last season's top 4. Battled it out. Darwin Núñez opened the scoring for Liverpool with a clean finish after Mo Salah ultimately set him up. No, I don't think directly, because of a last man challenge on Mo Salah that wasn't given. Darwin Núñez went through and scored to give Liverpool the lead in the first half. Trent Alexander-Arnold then had to come off through injury. Also in that first half, we'll see how that goes for Liverpool. A key player but it was to be Mo Salah again. Who else for Liverpool? That's the third time this season Liverpool have been leading 1-0 late in a game, and Mo Salah steps up and scores the second, a counter-attacking goal. Epitomising Liverpool's play yesterday. Not at their best, but certainly delivering a huge result, and their 6th Premier League clean sheet of the season, by far the most of any Premier League side this campaign. Another 3 points sees Liverpool sit 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. That was yesterday. To today, we've had 4 games, 3 games early in this afternoon. Manchester United ended the little spell of Ruud van Nistelrooy's charge with a 3-0 victory against Leicester, their biggest home win of the season for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes gave them the lead after 17 minutes. It was to be an own goal that would double United's lead, with Victor Christiansen putting into his own nets, before Alejandro Garnacho wrapped it up with a couple of minutes to go to make it 3-0 victory for Ruud van Nistelrooy. It means that Ruud van Nistelrooy, in his 4 games in charge, 2 against Leicester, 1 against Chelsea and 1 against PAOK in the Europa League, 3 wins and just 1 draw from his 4 games in charge. Ruben Amorim will take charge after the international break. First trip is to Ipswich for him. Well, Nottingham Forest have been one of those that have been high-flying this season. They've been as high as 3rd this campaign. But it wasn't to be another victory for them, as they were beaten by Newcastle, who are on a bounce themselves after beating Arsenal last week. They got a 3-1 win at the City grounds. Murillo gave Forest the lead in the first half, but it wasn't to be that, as a second half comeback from Newcastle ignited a 3 points charge. Alexander Isak with the equaliser. Joe Linton got a goal to give Newcastle the lead before Harvey Barnes made it sure that it was to be 3 points heading back to the northeast with the Toon, as they got another 3 points, another big victory on the road. It puts Newcastle up to 8th in the league. Forest dropped down to 5th. As it stands, with both Chelsea and Arsenal drawing at the moment, but they could finish as high as 4th this weekend if either of these 2 teams drawing at the moment were to win. And another big shock, as Ipswich got their first win of the season. They were the only Premier League side left after Wolves' victory yesterday. They were the only Premier League side left without a win this season in the competition, but that was to end this afternoon as they headed to North London and toppled Tottenham. Sammy Schmodix opened the scoring before Liam Delap had Ipswich 2-0 up at half-time. That was the case the last time they were in the capital, away at Brentford. They were 2-0 up and ultimately lost that game 4-3. But this time around it wasn't to be the case. Dominic Solanke thought he'd got one back before VAR ruled it out, before Rodrigo Bentancur did get Spurs' consolation in the second half. But that was all it was to be for Tottenham, as they were to fall for their 5th defeat of the season in 11 games. And Spurs sit 10th in the Premier League table. An Ipswich side that escaped the bottom 3 are now on 8 points from their first 11 games, 1 win, 5 draws and 5 defeats from their opening 11 games, and a big win for Kieran McKenna's side, a much needed one at that. And Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0 at the Bridge, which the second half is on the way in just a moment, but that is where we stand. Let's have a quick look at the Premier League table and how it stands so far, live at this moment in time, with, as I said, Chelsea and Arsenal both drawing at the moment. So this is the way it looks. Liverpool lead the way, 5 points clear of second place Manchester City after Liverpool's win yesterday and Man City's defeat. Chelsea and Arsenal could have the chance to close the gap on the top 2 if either of them are to win. A draw would keep them away from kind of touching distance of those 2, as Chelsea would jump up to 3rd and Arsenal jump up to 4th. Forest would drop to 5th as it stands, with Newcastle, Fulham and Brighton all jumping up places in the table. Villa and Spurs dropping to 9th and 10th respectively. That's how close this table is at the moment. We go to the bottom half. Brentford in 11th, Bournemouth 12th, Man United 13th after that victory, only their 4th win of the season. West Ham, Leicester, Everton and Ipswich make up the sides in the bottom half that aren't in the bottom 3, and Palace, Wolves and Southampton make up the 3 sides that sit in the relegation zone. Right. That is how the Premier League table stands. We'll see if it has any adjustments to it before the final whistle here at the Bridge. Chelsea against Arsenal. No goals yet, but a second half on the way next. welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time, it is Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. The players just coming out for the second half. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. It would be greatly appreciated, and thanks each and every one of you for joining us this afternoon for this Premier League commentary. Chelsea just coming back out onto the field. Arsenal have been out here for a few minutes. Maybe an indication that Mikel Arteta wants more from his team. And I can expect that to be the case from Enzo Maresca as well. Both, I would say, not particularly enamoured with the first half and happy with the way their sides have performed in the first half, but a lot of encouragement, you'd have to say, from both teams. But more certainly needed if they want to get the 3 points this afternoon. Chelsea kicking from right to left, from left to right. Arsenal from right to left in the second half. As we get underway for the second 45 here at the bridge. Cole Palmer gets us going. And a big second half really for either of these two teams, where they can really head into the international break with maybe a bit less pressure on them. Arsenal more so in the fact that they have been as low as 6th this weekend, but restoring that third place at least in the top 3 would give them a little bit more comfort, and of course a win here would close that gap to Manchester City just to 2 points, certainly within touching distance of them. Here's Palmer up against Partey. First attack of the half. Palmer with the delivery straight into the diving hands of David Raya, who committed himself there, but committed himself well. I think if either side are going to win this in the second half, their big players are going to need to improve. Going to need to show a bit more quality in the final third. Just one shot on target each in the first half. So more certainly needed in front of goal. Chelsea's only shot on target was the Cole Palmer shot that ended up being saved and parried over by David Raya. Arsenal's only shot on target was from Martinelli. That was also saved. That was saved by the chest of Robert Sanchez in that first half. Raya goes long, looking for their options, and Havertz there as Timber was in close proximity, but Chelsea do well to get it away from those players. Neto heads it back towards his defence as Cucurella clears. Now finds Neto again. Across now to Palmer. Can't really find a blue shirt. It does feed it down to Neto now. He's broke free. Neto looking for an opportunity but couldn't find the cross. It comes back to Cucurella. Now Gusto to Madueke. Takes on Martinelli. Madueke's cross straight into the hands of Raya again. Starting to want to get going at the start of the second half are Chelsea. Again that long kick by David Raya. Won back by Chelsea quickly. Caicedo. Now out to Neto. Bit of belief early in the second half for the Blues. Cucurella. Lavia. Now Fofana. Down the right hand side to Madueke. Back to Wesley Fofana. Across to Caicedo. Lavia. Back to Fofana again. Chelsea moving it around nicely. Fofana again. Iron it out to Madueke on the right hand side. Looks to step across. Madueke will go for the left, but should have betted against that one. Didn't only Madueke because it was flying behind for a goal kick. Nowhere near threatening the Arsenal goal. It was worth a hit, but in hindsight, it certainly wasn't the most impressive. Well, in terms of clean sheets, Arsenal have kept 3 clean sheets this season. As I said, Chelsea just the 2 in the Premier League. Expecting some goals in this second half. The last time there was failed to be a goal in this fixture. Last time there was a 0-0 draw was back in January 2018. That was also at Stamford Bridge, but that was in the Carabao Cup. The last league 0-0 draw was in September 2017 at the Bridge. Here's Martinelli. Delivers in for Arsenal, but neither here nor there. Ben White was arriving at the back post. Havertz was in the middle, but Martinelli's cross found neither of them. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Cluster of players in the middle there for Arsenal. Odegaard and Saka were there as well, along with Kai Havertz, but none of them could find or could get on the end of that cross. Martinelli again, closed out by Gusto, but Gusto couldn't keep it in play. Timber. The away crowd still supporting their side. Here's Saliba. Out to Martinelli. Nice ball. Gabriel Martinelli up against Gusto. Steps onto his right. Charges infield. Well charged down by Fofana. Now Chelsea want to return the favour. Here comes Madueke on the break. He's got Jackson to his right. Takes that option. Finds Nicholas Jackson. Edge of the box. Jackson has to turn back with it. Didn't want to keep the intensity going. Gusto. Across to Lavia. Seemed like there was a bit of a huff from the home crowd there when Jackson didn't continue that attack and just wanted to turn back on it, but maybe that's the idea. Colwell darts it into Palmer. Cole Palmer charges, tries to get it into the box. Does get a flick off Saliba and goes behind for the corner, which gets a round of applause from the home crowd. I did say Cole Palmer would be key to Chelsea in this second half. Have another chance from the corner. And Chelsea's third of the game, all coming from the left side and all delivered by Palmer. And that one cleared away at the front post. As Gusto goes all the way back to Sanchez, which gets another loud groan from the Stamford Bridge crowd. Gusto again. Into Jackson. Now back to Madueke. Madueke will cross it in. And the darted effort over the bar by Fofana. Really good delivery by Noni Madueke. The space opened up. He swung it in with the left boot and kind of adjusting to try and catch it with his left in the air, or his right in the air. Fofana just comes off the outside of his boot, maybe just across his ankle really, and goes sliced over the bar. Ever so close, but yeah, ever so far really. As Chelsea, we got a free kick there as Havertz was in an offside position. Certainly not where you expect to see Wesley Fofana on the end of a cross in the box, but certainly made his presence known. Cucurella. Palmer. Jackson couldn't step across Saliba. Chelsea again recycle the ball. Caicedo gets past Rice the first time, not the second. Rice wins it back, but couldn't again. Sloppy passing from Arsenal, giving the ball away. Lavia. Now into Palmer. Nice little pick up of the pocket of space. Out to Neto on the left hand side. Takes on White. Neto. Gives it back to Cucurella. Palmer. Now Romeo Lavia. Cole Palmer out again. Comes to Neto. Neto encouraged to take on his man. Does so. Puts the cross in. Just a bit too high, but retrieved it The other end by Caicedo. And Chelsea keep the pressure. Gusto. Colwell, now Fofana. Gusto again. To Colwell. Right to Neto on the left. Chelsea just seems so comfortable in possession at the moment. There's now Gusto. Half shot. Madueke wins it back again. Chipped out to Neto in the box. Neto controls it. Tries to go across. Blocked. Back to Palmer it comes. He will deliver it in. And Gusto was pulled down there. And he felt it was fouled. The referee says no as David Raya catches the ball. And Arsenal come away with the ball. Saka. And the VAR quickly agreeing with the on-field decision. No penalty. As Gusto gets back to his feet and tracks back now for Chelsea. As here's Martinelli. Gets past Madueke. Gabriel Martinelli. Chips it across. Away by Cucurella. And it's not a good clearance by Cucurella. Straight out for an Arsenal throw. Hello, Michael Oliver. Stop the game for the moment. Mark Cucurella has spotted something. He spotted that Kai Havertz is bleeding. And the referee is now telling him to go and... Kai Havertz wants to stop on the field. The referee wants him to go off the field. I mean, this is just childish, really. What's all this about? And he's got a booking. Has Kai Havertz. I mean, I don't know what he expected, really. All the referee... I mean, the referee has clearly told him to go off the field to get his face treated. I mean, it's literally pouring down the left-hand side of his face. And wanted to just sit down on the pitch. Referee said no, and Kai Havertz gets a booking for that. Again, just a silly lack of discipline from Arsenal. It's been consistent all the way throughout the season as Jurrien Timber. Chelsea thought there was a foul throw there, but referee allows him to retake it. I mean, to be fair, he actually didn't throw it forward, so it's fair to retake it. It's not a foul throw, he didn't get it forward, so it's actually quite the opposite of a foul throw. Gabriel. Partey. Down the left-hand side for Martinelli. Havertz still off the pitch receiving treatment. So Arsenal down to 10 for the moment. Gabriel. Breaking into space. Nice quick footwork. Timber now. We'll see it out and shoved out of play by Caicedo there. Certainly this game's getting feistier by the minute. As the clock ticks on. Certainly I don't think it's going to be going the opposite direction. It's just going to get more and more tetchy and emotionally charged and much more grifty as the game goes on, as the cross by Martinelli is cleared away by Chelsea. Arsenal having a little spell. As Gabriel shoved to the floor by Nicholas Jackson, and that gets Arsenal a free kick. To say the referee, considering how bizarrely strange this game has been so far, has done a decent job. The referee, Michael Oliver, as Kai Havertz has come back onto the field with strapping on his head, so certainly did need a bit of treatment, and he has received that. Back on the field then. Free kick for Declan Rice to take. Right far on the left-hand side. Let's see what this set piece can offer. Rice with the delivery, right-footed, but too much curl on it. Curl right into the hands of Robert Sanchez. Comes to nothing. Nice ball by Colwell to Neto. Sprays it out to Palmer on the left-hand side. Back it comes with Cucurella as Lavia under pressure loses out to Ødegaard now. Havertz spins around, gives it back to Ødegaard on the edge of the box. Now to Partey. He's spinning and twisting. Ødegaard lifts it into the box. Saka is chasing. Martinelli's there. Martinelli across and in. Gabriel Martinelli. Flagged offside in the first half were Arsenal. This time in the back of the net. And this one does give Arsenal the lead at the Bridge. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. And that little spell in the last few moments for Arsenal has bare fruit. The Blues have probably been the better team on the balance of things. But neither side have really been able to take their chances so far. And not a surprise that it's Martin Ødegaard that creates the chance and Martinelli that finishes it off. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. And their deadlock is eventually broken. See it again. Nice twisting and turning on the edge of the box. No doubt Martinelli's onside. Colwell playing him on. And he just beats Sanchez at his near post. I mean, that's criminal from a goalkeeper's point of view. But lovely ball over the top by Ødegaard. Running in with Saka and Martinelli. And Martinelli, you think he's going to go across goal. He decides, I've got to catch the goalkeeper out here. And that he does. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. And Arsenal heading up into third as it stands. And their run of great results at Stamford Bridge seems to be continuing. Long way to go. Certainly going in the right direction though for the Gunners. That was Arsenal's 18th Premier League goal of the season. And is Gabriel Martinelli's third Premier League goal of the campaign. Only Saka and Havertz have more. As Fofana has to go back to his keeper. It's now a chase from a Chelsea point of view. As I said, they haven't beaten Arsenal on this ground since 2018. And Arsenal, they have lost just once since scoring first since January 2022. One defeat in over 70 games when scoring first. If Chelsea are going to come back, they're going to have to overcome those types of stats. Martinelli, or Gabriel, sorry, wrong Gabriel. Back to Raya. Maybe not the most conventional of goals, but certainly an assist for Martin Ødegaard. Another showing of his impact and his contribution to this Arsenal side. Saka battling with Colwell. Wins an Arsenal corner. That goal, actually, by the way, was only Arsenal's 7th shot of the game. So far, only their 2nd on target. It's the only shot on target of the second half. That Arsenal goal. Saka coming over to take this corner for Arsenal then on the right-hand side. Let's see what they can do from this position. Can they add to their lead from this set piece? There's Gabriel and Neto getting in a bit of a tussle on the edge of the box. Saka to deliver. Left-footed. Whipped into the box. Back post. Good save by Sanchez. Still alive though. As Chelsea clear it away. And now want to break themselves. Neto completely closes down that opportunity. by going straight back to his defenders. And the Chelsea attempt at a counter-attack comes to absolutely nothing. To be honest, I can understand why Chelsea don't want to do it, but at the same time, if the opportunity's there, why not take it? As that's a foul on Malo Gusto by Partey in the middle of the pitch. Palmer swings one out to Madueke. Lovely crossfield ball by Palmer. Madueke gets it past Martinelli into the box. It comes as Partey clears away. Fofana deftly heads it down to Gusto. Chased back by Timber. And it comes all the way back to Sanchez. Now Colwill. Oh, he's giving the ball away there, Levi Colwill. Odegaard. He's got Havertz in the middle. Martin Odegaard wanted to go himself. Well closed down by Colwill. A little bit of a sloppy mistake there from the Chelsea centre-back. And that's put them under pressure now all of a sudden. Gabriel. Timber. 25 minutes to go. Urian Timber charging forward. Weaving through players. Urian Timber. Just wide. Goodness me. Ducking and diving through Chelsea players. Lavia just tries to last ditch throw one at him, and the strike just thrown wide. Struck wide in the end there by Timber as Lavia's gone down. So this might be a worry for Chelsea. Romeo Lavia, who was tarred with injuries last season. Be a cautious one for the Belgian. Had an injury at the start of this season as well. Early August, early September. It's been in a decent run. It's only his 6th Premier League appearance of the season for Romeo Lavia. This game. Only his 5th start. And I think they might make some changes here with Lavia going down, Chelsea, and the fact they're 1-0 down with around about a quarter of this game to go. Looks like Enzo Fernandez is ready on the sidelines, so might be the end of Lavia's day. And his number is up. And Romeo Lavia is going to be making way, and Enzo Fernandez is going to be coming on. But a good sight for Chelsea fans is that Lavia did walk off on and kind of jog off on his own accord, but go straight down the tunnel. Interestingly, that's not the only change that they're going to make. Noni Madueke is going to make way for Mykhailo Mudryk. So an attacking change as well. As Mudryk on. Of course, Mykhailo Mudryk could have went to either of these teams. Of course, Arsenal were very interested and very keenly involved in wanting to get Mykhailo Mudryk. But it was Chelsea that would get him in the end, as they have done with a lot of players over the last number of transfer windows. The Arsenal fans singing loud outside Stamford Bridge. Let's see what Chelsea can offer in response. Fofana breaking forward again. Thought he was brought down by his opposite number there, and he was, in Kai Havertz. So a free kick to Chelsea. Again, we saw that in the first half. Wesley Fofana charging forward into the midfield area. This time, an Arsenal player tracks him and does try and shut him out, as does Kai Havertz. And Chelsea have a free kick, which Enzo Fernandez will take. His first involvement. Delivers into the box. Header up in the air by Saliba, not away as Mudryk delivers it back in. And again, Mudryk chips it across, flicked on Falls to Gusto, now lays it off to Neto, whose shot will take a deflection and will give Chelsea a corner. It's well sustained, that moment of pressure from Chelsea as they take the corner quickly. Delivery into the box. Jackson got a connection, but not a clean header. Right, it comes to Gusto. Back to Caicedo. And now into the centre circle comes Neto. Fernandez. Feeds it through for Neto. No one tracking him. Pedro Neto! Lovely finish. Arsenal sleeping at the back. And Neto strode into space and struck it into the bottom left corner. Bottom right corner. To give Chelsea the leveller. As Caicedo did at Old Trafford last week. Neto does at the Bridge this week. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. This game is far from over yet. Silences the doubters, does Pedro Neto. Fabulous from Chelsea. I asked what response they could give. Well, there it is. For the second week running, they have a memorable equalising goal against a big rival. It's really poor from an Arsenal point of view. No one tracks Pedro Neto. And I want to point out, I'm certain that this comes, if Chelsea don't get a corner a moment or so earlier, this goal doesn't come. Because Neto finds himself in an unorthodox position, in kind of the midfield central position. Arsenal have no idea how to defend it, and they're practically just watching it happen in front of their own eyes. And Neto strikes it beautifully. Raya with absolutely no chance. And that is one way to open your account in the Premier League for Chelsea. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. Game on at the Bridge. And as that equaliser comes, Arsenal are going to make changes. And the two that have been dropped from the start, Mikel Merino and Leandro Trossard, are the replacements. They are replacing Gabriel Martinelli and Declan Rice. So changes there for the Gunners. Less than 20 minutes to go. 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Ball into the box from Trossard, cleared away by Chelsea. White, down the right hand side comes Saka. It's been a bit quiet today, Bukayo Saka. Finds Odegaard. Kind of been marked out of the game, really. Has Saka, here he is again, up against Mudryk. Steps onto his left, looks to deliver it into the box, and all the way through. If Merino got any sort of connection, it would have been 2-1. Beautiful from Saka. Curling away from the Chelsea defenders, and Merino was just agonisingly close to getting something to it. And if he had got something to it, it would have been his first touch. And it would have been some first touch if it had went in. But it goes all the way behind for a goal kick. Mudryk goes down under the challenge from... Palmer goes down under the challenge of Partey. Gets a free kick for Chelsea. Just seems like, really, the second half, the momentum's ebbed and flowed. It's not been consistent either way. It's probably been fair the whole way through the game, to be honest. Neither side have really taken this game by the scruff of the neck and kind of said, we're going to win this one. It's been not from either side. Here's Odegaard. Now Saka down the right hand side. Up against Cucurella. Takes on his man. Steps back across. Now Odegaard on his left. Delivers into the box. Merino is in there. And Havertz maybe got some sort of touch to it. But into the hands of Sanchez it goes. Again that threat from the right hand side. Odegaard the delivery this time. Merino again well onside. Flicks on the header and Havertz doesn't get a connection to it. And it bounces up into the hands of Robert Sanchez for Chelsea. do continually apologise for the break up of the stream. There are some huge issues. I have no idea what's going on. I do apologise profusely for this. I'm trying our best to resolve the issue, but it's clearly something that's very difficult to resolve. And we are doing our ever best to keep the stream going. In the meantime, with less than 10 minutes to go, still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. You haven't missed anything. Nothing has been missed. And we hope that the issues are resolved now. As Chelsea are going to make a substitution here. Malo Gusto is going to make way, and Reece James is going to be coming on for Chelsea. So a bid to try and win the game. Bringing on their captain. Malo Gusto's done a decent job this afternoon for Chelsea. Neto. Back with Fofana, who has to come back to Robert Sanchez. As I said, whoever wins this one will jump up into third as Mudryk charges in behind. It's a race against Raya, who does charge out and clear it away. Given away by Arsenal again, but won back quite quickly. As Jesus is now on the field for Arsenal, by the way, as well. Just on the field, so Gabriel Jesus for Havertz, I believe. The ball switched out to Neto on the right hand side. Neto looking for an option, cuts it back to James. Low cross into the box, cleared away by Gabriel. Back by it with James, battling now with Caicedo. Through it comes the bouncing ball over the top. Gabriel can't deal with it, still alive. Jackson straight into the hands of Raya. Goodness me, they're determined to give us a grandstand finish here at Stamford Bridge this evening, in which way they do so. Will we have a late winner? Marino, Saliba, now Ben White, linking up with Jesus. Actually, it wasn't Havertz that went off. It was Bukayo Saka with a slight injury issue. So Saka is no longer on the field, and Jesus is on in his replacement. So foul there on Odegaard by Caicedo. It's a free kick to Arsenal. It's just really naive from Moises Caicedo, to be honest. Giving away a cheap free kick. Dangerous area with around about 6 minutes to go in this game. An area of the field where Arsenal can certainly be a threat. Let's see. Trossard runs away. Odegaard with the delivery. Up into the air it goes. Not really finding a way through as Arsenal stop the counter-attack at its tracks, but the flag was up anyway against the Arsenal players, so a free kick will come Chelsea's way. Well, international break on the way. Don't forget, we're back in 2 weeks' time for another doubleheader of Sunday action in the Premier League as Southampton face Liverpool from 2 o'clock at St Mary's before Manchester United head to Ipswich at 4:30 on the 24th of November. 2 weeks today for that one. We'll have international games across the next week and a half or so, and we'll inform you of which ones we will be doing during this week. Trossard cleared away by Colwell. Yeah, it's just a bit of head tennis at the moment. Ball bounced into Caicedo's path, but Caicedo's ball forward to no one but David Raya. Partey. Looking to force the ball up to the left-hand side to find Trossard, who was battling with Neto. Trossard wins that battle. Plays it across now to Marino, who couldn't find a teammate. As now Palmer looks to pop it over the top for Jackson, but well spotted by Raya. Denied that chance. Marino now into Trossard's path. Down the left-hand side it comes. Leandro Trossard eking into the box up against James. Steps onto his right. Cuts it back for Ødegaard. Team shot cleared away by Colwell. Palmer trying to step in to get Chelsea forward. Enzo Fernandez battling with Partey. Good play by Fofana, but couldn't find Jackson. Not on the same page there, but it's sloppy from Chelsea. Jesus. Partey. Now into Ødegaard. Now Havertz. Overlapping is Jesus, breaking to the byline. Jesus across, Marino, good save. And the follow-up is over the bar by Trossard. Two very good chances for Arsenal. Sanchez in the way of the first, and Trossard skying it in the second. Fabulous play. Havertz waits and waits and waits. 1 Arsenal 1 at Stamford Bridge. Here's Neto. 5 added minutes then. At the end of the 90, more than enough time for a winner to be found. Whether any side can find that winner is the key point. Is the big question. Do they have it in them? A win for either of these two teams could be huge. Charging them up into third place and certainly closing the gap to both City and Liverpool above them. A draw really doesn't help either team at this moment in time. Here's Neto. Left-footed delivery into the box, and the bouncing ball is into the hands of David Raya. For a second there it looked like Palmer had just nipped in. He was close, but just not close enough. And David Raya got in the way and gathered the ball. Now maybe Arsenal's turn. Trossard breaks away from Reece James. Trossard now into Ødegaard. Ødegaard snatches at it, but actually takes a deflection on the way through. Corner to Arsenal. Throwing everybody up at this now, Arsenal. It's important at this late stage. There'll be a 9-point gap to top of the table Liverpool. 4-point gap to Manchester City. If this was to end in a draw. Short corner. Taken to Ben White. Chips it into the box. And the header away by James. But the flag up again against Arsenal. And it was Saliba this time that was offside. 3 minutes to go. There's still 2 more points to be grabbing for either team if they can get them. A goal would do that. Fernandez has to come back though to Caicedo. Time is running out. Caicedo again. In the middle. Into a little path. Finds Palmer. Now down the left-hand side comes Mudryk. He's got the overlap of Cucurella. Mudryk with a cross. Just too much for Mykhailo Mudryk. Arsenal clear it away now and they want to charge up the other, but that's a good challenge by Caicedo. It gets a roaring round of applause from the crowd inside Stamford Bridge. As there was an opportunity as Timber Throws it down the left for Trossard. Still alive. This game, still opportunities to come. Marino. Odegaard. Closed down by Cucurella. Now Chelsea want a break. Marc Cucurella leading the charge. Tumbled to the ground by Odegaard, and the free kick is going to be given. Odegaard can't believe it, but I certainly would say that's a fair decision by the referee, Michael Oliver. And with just over a minute to go, is there one last chance? Mudryk. Closed out by White for the throw. It's really do or die now for Chelsea. Seconds remain. Cucurella throws it to Fernandez. Back to Marc Cucurella. And Mudryk has to leave it. Cucurella wanted a foul. None of it comes. Goal kick Arsenal. So one last chance for Arsenal then. Saliba tiptoeing around his own box there, almost getting caught out. Raya across to Gabriel. Arsenal not getting it up and forward in a hurry here at the moment. Here is Saliba now to Marino. There's no real option. Does switch it out to Timber on the left hand side. Flag stays down. Timber. Now Trossard. Trossard across to Odegaard. Odegaard into the box comes Saliba across and all the way through. That was the chance. And the whistle goes to signal the final whistle, the end of the game. But what an opportunity for Arsenal. Saliba's ball across. Trossard and Havertz buying in on goal, and Trossard hits it, but hits it all wrong. And it goes massively wide, nowhere near, and that is as good a chance as you need in the dying embers to win a game of football. The fine margins of the Premier League personified in one cross, and ultimately Arsenal come up short. Final score at Stamford Bridge after a raucous and raunchy and somewhat feisty affair between these two. It is a point apiece. A point that gets them 1 point further up the table, but certainly not any closer in real terms towards the top two. Arsenal in fourth, Chelsea in third, both quite a distance from league leaders Liverpool. Both really feel that this was probably 2 points dropped rather than a point gained, in the sense that either team could have won it at the death. But in the end, it is the honours even in West London. Final score, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. There we are. Just a point for both teams, who have identical records after 11 games. And propping up the top four are those two teams. Right. It's only the second draw of the weekend. That was. And there's the full results of this weekend. Brentford won at home. Fulham won away from home. Back-to-back wins for Fulham. West Ham and Everton played at a goalless draw in East London. Wolves got their first win of the campaign against Southampton. Brighton beat Manchester City for City to lose 4 in a row. Liverpool top of the table and extend their lead to 5 points after winning against Villa. United beat Leicester. Newcastle on the road toppling Nottingham Forest. And Ipswich, probably the big shock of the weekend, one of the big shocks anyway, beating Tottenham in North London, their first win of the season as well. And the points shared between Chelsea and Arsenal in this London derby. That is Matchday 11, all done and dusted. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time to do it all over again, and a lot more time to do it, because this is the last international break of the calendar year until March. 5 months of back-to-back, end-to-end, week-to-week football of a domestic sense. It is going to be cracking. Do join us for the international games over the next week and a half. But for now, thanks for joining us for this Premier League commentary. A bit disrupted, but we stuck through it, and so did Chelsea and Arsenal. Points shared in West London. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.